Hi, I'm Tim Bradford. This is Campfire Chords. So this next song is a song called On the Line. I wrote this when I was leaving actually, Canmore, Alberta. And it's a song about living the life out there and crazy times living in the mountains. Canmore is beautiful. If you haven't been to the Bow Valley, I highly recommend it. And when the sun goes down at night, you can see the silhouette of the mountains, and this song is about that as well. One thing about, I find, like, whatever you're into, if you're kind of getting into sports or if you're getting into, computing, anything you're getting into, sometimes you'll buy a bit of gear and it'll kind of validate your, not only your ability to use it and run with it, but your commitment to it. So getting this guitar was a big deal for me. I was playing in a band at that point, and it was I needed something more. So it was a tool. A guitar is a tool, and I think that there's a lot of people who collect guitars out there that never play them. There's that side of it too. But a tool is something that you can use and wear out a little bit. And if you get something nice, you want to take care of it. But I think it's good to use it up a bit too, because otherwise it's like getting the first scratch is always a good thing, because then it's like, okay, it's scratched, now we can relax. So, I got this guitar for playing when I was playing in an old time string band. It's got a lot of bottom on it. It's like a tip. It's based on a HD28 Martin. So a rosewood back and sides, spruce top. The rosewood back and sides. The other, like the two main guitars, I think, with old time and bluegrass, or like the old dreadnoughts, are the D18, which was older, and the D28. The D18 is a mahogany back and sides. Sometimes they have really heavy bottom bass on low end on them, but a lot of times I find the mahogany guitars record a bit better than a rosewood. This being a rosewood, still records fine, but sometimes with those mid-rangey D18s can be a better accompaniment for a solo player, but just a bit mid-rangey and crispy. It records a bit better. This song's in E, and the chords on it are E, A, which is the 4, and B, 7th. So the B chord, if you play the A chord, you can play the B chord up here by barring, take basically the A chord and move it up. So that works. That's also a B 7th. But I like playing for this song in particular, because I don't have anyone else playing with me, so you get some nicer lower tones by playing this B 7th down here, which is open E. You play the B note on the A string, play the first fret on the D string, which is a D sharp in this case, and then you're playing the A note here on the A note on the G string. So second string, second fret, third string, first fret, fourth string, the G string here on the second fret. So then when you're doing that, you can do the 1-5 from this finger to from the B to the F. This will be the F sharp. All right, so you'd be like. So I'm just picking out the bass notes here of the E chord, which is open first, open second, second. I'm going to do basically the same thing for the A chord. So I'm playing the root note, and then the root note being the A, and the 5 being the E. So. That's a walk up to the B. This song is somewhat of a train beat, and playing it in the E position, like some of the more famous like train beats. This has some of the bass runs similar to some of the old Johnny Cash stuff, where you'll do like of course if you're playing with a bass player, you don't have to play as much, but when you're not playing with a bass player, you try to, so you're trying to walk up to, from again 1-5-4 or 1-4-5. In this case, you're going, that's a 4, B is a 5. So I'm doing a lot of these walk-ups like like this. So if you're playing with a guitar player and he's doing more of that, if you're playing with a second guitar player, he might start doing the bass runs, in which case you can just hold this like this. With this particular song, I find it's good to have some dynamics when you can, and bring it down a little bit in the rises and falls. This song also has a little bit funky timing. There's some hangs and some holds, but I think it works with the character of the song. With the holds and the harmonies, you get some nice harmonies on this. You can do a 2 or 3 part harmony, but again, playing it if you're playing by yourself, you've got more room. So, and you might need to kind of drive the song a bit more. So that's why these lower notes on the low E string can make a big difference. Another thing you can do if you're getting into like a more electric guitar, because it doesn't quite cut through. I'm flat picking. I always flat pick almost 99% of the time. But with Travis picking, you could do it on this. So if you're playing a Telecaster at home, like I've got a really nice Alistair Miller Telecaster here. But if you're playing with a Telecaster, you can do the Travis picking where you do like, so you pick with your pick, and then you can pull on these 2 fingers, on your middle finger and your ring finger for the other one. So that can work on this song, and that almost sounds like a train there, right? You get faster. So if you were playing this electric, you could do it like that, but most often with an acoustic guitar, the Travis picking might not come quite through as well, so you might wind up doing this instead. And then like that's the same. You're playing the same notes, but then you can like you can kind of get that syncopation going a bit more. And then if you're playing an electric guitar, you might put a delay pedal. Like the Johnny Cash stuff often had a delay, so you hear like and you get the double time going. I highly recommend if you haven't sat down with an electric guitar and messed around with the delay pedal that you do that. The slapback is what they call it for these kind of songs. If you're playing along on a song like this to kind of get the rhythm going, you can always do these like little hammer-ons on the B note here. It's a percussive song, so those things kind of help out, and I find that sometimes when I'm learning a song from someone else, if they'll do a certain rhythmic thing, and you hear it and you think you're doing it the same way, and then you realize later you're doing it different. But often it doesn't matter if you're doing it the same. I think the most important thing is if you're playing within the spirit of the song and putting the song first, you might have your own little nuances that are complementing. Again, with aspiring and to get better and whatnot, sometimes you see some player that you're like, oh, this person's great. Well, the people that are really great are the ones that have got to the point where their personality comes out, so they're their own, like in my opinion, like there's some really technical players that you can't even, they could play anything exactly like someone else. And that there's an art to that, and that's aspiring. But I think that if we're talking around campfires and whatnot, the most important thing I think is to get comfortable enough, you get improving and whatnot, but get comfortable enough that you can be in the moment and honor the song. If you honor the song and the melody, no matter what you're doing, people will appreciate it. And you're going to bring your own flair no matter what, especially if you're having fun and if you're relaxed. Those two things usually go hand in hand. So, this song does have some hammer-ons on it. Again, sometimes it's what I was trying to explain earlier. Is sometimes when you're playing, you won't realize you're doing something until someone else says, "Oh, what are you doing there?" And I guess that's the difference. A good teacher will be like, "Oh, this is exactly what I'm doing," whereas for myself, not being maybe the best teacher, I don't always know why you might do something, but you're doing it because your ear hears it and it wants to be there. So sometimes, but then that's also comes from playing guitar. You learn something, and then after learning it, you put it in your kind of regular arsenal, and you forget that it's there. You're just doing it subconsciously, which is kind of like listening. It's like playing and listening are the same thing almost when you get your muscle memory down. Well, I might have met the devil. It was a different place and time. I found a party, I almost lost my mind. Everyone was friendly, and I was feeling fine. Nobody worried about what was on the line, what was on the line, what was on the line. Rivers, skies, mountains, carved out of stone. God damn, it's good to be alone. Well, the money, it came easy. Playing, it was free. We got the girls up dancing in a room above the street. But the sun sets on the innocent, it's just a matter of time. Bet against the daybreak, lay your money on the line. Lay it on the line, lay it on the line. Rivers, skies, mountains, carved out of stone. God damn, it's good to be alone. Well, Matthew was a good boy till he fell into crime. Started selling halfers for the Dixie by the dime. Then he met a lot of women, flipping magazines. The stakes were getting higher, but the game was getting mean. He put it on the line, put it on the line. Rivers, skies, and mountains, carved out of stone. God damn, it's good to be alone. Well, I might have met the devil if I knew how to lie. And I would be a liar if I wasn't so inclined. So I rolled my dice, I made my rounds, and I said goodbye. Standing at the crossroads in the sand, I drew a line, I drew a line, I drew a line. Rivers, skies, and mountains, carved out of stone. My Lord, it's good to be alone. I drew a line, I drew a line. Rivers, skies, and mountains, carved out of stone. Man, oh man, it's good to be alone. Well, the money, it came easy. Playing, it was free. We got the girls up dancing in a room above the street. But the sun sets on the innocent, it's just a matter of time. Bet against the daybreak, lay your money on the line.